Hello there, and thanks again for taking time to watch this week's Pantagraph Prep Preview. Once again, I'm Assistant Sports Editor, and with me is my usual co-host, Sports Editor Randy Kindred. Hello, Randy.
Hi, how you doing?
Good to be here. So here we are going into the final week of the regular season now, and 8 of our area schools have already secured their playoff berths, including the Inner City 3 of U-High, Normal Community, and Normal West. 9 is all about seeding and maybe more importantly, staying healthy.
Yeah, the health is a big factor, and I think momentum is a factor too. You want to go into the playoffs on an upswing and on a good note, and so I think that's part of this too. That they want to have a good game leading into the playoffs to feel good about themselves.
On the other side of that, now we've got, by my estimation, we could have 4 more teams that'll become playoff eligible this week. Among those is Central Catholic, which is going to visit Macomb.
Yeah, the Saints, they were shut out last week against Muhammad, second time in the last 3 weeks that they've been shut out. But Macomb is 2-6 right now, and you know the running game for Central wasn't able to generate a whole lot last week, but they still have 2 guys over 650 yards for the season in Ryan Zitkus and Brett Segabiano. So I think if they can establish that running game at Macomb, this is a game they can win, and they have enough playoff points they would get in if they can get this 5th victory.
Meanwhile, another Corn Belt team with a strong chance to make the playoffs is Olympia. For the first time since 2002, the Spartans could get in. They're 5-3 after a 26-12 win over IVC, and now they're facing a 1-7 team from Rantoul.
Yeah, this is a great opportunity for them, and you know they've put themselves in this position. I think they've won 3 out of their last 4 to get in this position. But they really do need a victory to get that 6th win, because that assures you of being in the playoffs. Right now, if they would end with 5 wins, they've only got 29 playoff points going into this week, so they would be probably on the bubble with a 5-4. So if they want to take all the guesswork out, they just need to get a win.
Fortunately, it's a pretty favorable matchup.
Yeah,
so.
I think it is.
Colin Miller, obviously a big game last week. They got the Spartans offense rolling at quarterback.
He's been pretty steady all season, it seems like, and he's kind of the guy that makes everything else go, I think.
Over in the Heart of Illinois Conference, we've already got 4 playoff-bound teams in Class 2A number 5 Fieldcrest, the conference champs. El Paso Gridley is going to be in. Tri-Valley and Leroy are both in. And GCMS is at 5-3. They can join them with a victory this week at Fisher. DMAC, they're looking for their 5th victory as they host Lexington. And the game of the week in the conference is going to be Flanagan Cornell Woodland visiting Tremont, with both teams at 4-4.
Yeah, that's kind of a playoff game in itself, really. I mean, if you win, you keep your season alive, and if you don't, well, you're done, I think. And Austin Dutko had a big game last week, 230 yards, 5 touchdowns, and he's our new area rushing leader as of right now. So obviously that'll be a big key to that game. If he can get on a roll, I like FCW's chances.
Tremont had a pretty good defensive showing, even though they snapped the 4-game winning streak. They had their streak snapped, but it was a 6-0 loss only. So
yeah, you got to feel good about your defense. You only give up 6 points, and you figure you're going to win most games when you do that. But they couldn't generate anything against that Leroy defense.
Yeah. The last area team looking for a win to punch a possible playoff ticket is Paxton Buckley Loda. They'll host a 1-7 Champaign St. Thomas More team. But turning our attention back to the inner city, U-High now, they've got the Class 5A number 4 ranking, and they've got 27 regular season victories in a row now. They're going to host Cahokia at Hancock Stadium.
Yeah, and this is a big momentum game for them too. I mean, obviously they want to keep that streak alive, although that's probably not their top priority. But just to have a good game heading into the playoffs. They've really got some things going with Nick Phelan's had a great year at quarterback, but they've got Niall Smith running the ball very well, and JoJo Hughes catching the ball. They've got several good targets on as far as the receiving end of things. So Cahokia is 4-4. I really expect U-High to take care of business in this game and then go in with some positive momentum.
Yeah, momentum's key for the Pioneers. Obviously, they got off to kind of a struggling first half against Pontiac last week. Austin Galindo and Nick Pacunas had some big defensive efforts in the second half. So moving on to the Big 10, or Big 12, I should say, conference champ NCHS is headed up to face a 4-4 Rich Central team in the Chicago suburbs. Bloomington, they're looking for a 2nd straight conference win. They're going to face Champaign. And the game in the conference this week is going to be for 2nd place between Champaign Centennial and Normal West.
Yeah, and you know, Normal West has really been on a pretty good roll here lately, and this would be a good opportunity for them to keep that going. You know, Arion Worthman ranks in the top 5 in rushing and passing in our area, even though he's splitting time with Mitch Fairfield. So that offense has been extremely productive, and if they can keep that going and come up with some big plays on defense in the playoffs, they can make some noise, I think.
Yeah, and Centennial now, I believe they've lost 2 in a row,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
that could still going to be a tough challenge. So that's going to wrap it up for our look at the final week's games. Check back on Pantagraph.com all Friday night as we update the live scores, and then be sure to pick up Saturday morning's Pantagraph or come back to Pantagraph.com to see all the write-ups. And lastly, be sure to keep track on our website as we stay along with the IHSA pairings when they're released on Saturday night. Thanks a lot.